I call to order the Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026 meeting of the City of Cleveland Board of Control. Mr. Secretary, could you please call the roll?
Directors Griffin.
Here.
Barrett.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Francis.
Here.
Laird.
Here.
Margolius.
Here.
Acting Director Violet.
Here.
Directors Cole.
Here.
McNamara.
Here.
Martin O'Toole.
Here.
Director Crow.
Here.
All right.
We have a.
Okay. Chief Director.
I'm legal titles director.
Good. Public Utilities, could you please speak to your resolutions?
Yes, thank you, Acting Mayor and Board. Utilities has two resolutions for consideration. Number one is authorizing the First Amendment to contract with Los Isle, Schomer, Burns, and DeHaven, TPD Group for professional engineering services, water pollution control, increasing the contract amount to not to exceed $867,404.50, and approving various subs. That is the general engineering services, water pollution control. The increase is due to an additional amount of capital projects over the last 2 years. So we need to add money to make sure that they're appropriately engineered and designed. 3526 requirement contract, P&P Valley View Holdings Inc., DBA Boyus excavating for debris disposal in landfills, transfer station, recycle reclaim facility sites, 2 years, $2,011,000. This is for all three divisions, both where we take it to them by way of a landfill, which is regulated by the EPA and governed by under the Ohio Revised Code, and also the dumpsters that we use at the three divisions for things like top poles and things like that in the operation of the Department of Public Utilities. Recommended.
Director, so for your first item, we need more professional services because we have more capital projects. So obviously those are associated. What are the additional kind of capital projects that this is going to support, and what are the general types of services that we're talking about?
The Division of Water Pollution Control's capital program primarily revolved around replacing sewers in the city. So this would be a design and execution of sewer, in some instances, we will use them for maintenance, but primarily for replacement.
Okay, and this is water pollution control separate from our sewer district.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. Are there any additional questions for Director Kane? There being no further questions, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
All in favor of adoption of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Adopted.
Public safety, could you please speak to your resolution?
Yes, Acting Mayor, members of the board, our recommendation number 2 is a request for approval of a contract with Freeman Nuisance Animal Removal and Remedy for nuisance animal trapping and removal services in an amount not to exceed $212,000. 7 different invitations for proposals were mailed to prospective vendors. 1 proposal was received, which met the division's requirements. The Ohio Revised Code requires a license to provide this service. This contract's for 1 year with the Division of Animal Care and Control.
This is for groundhogs.
Groundhogs is a big part of it, yes, sir.
And great. Do we have any, tell me a little bit. So I've been contacted many times about groundhogs. Most recently, Councilwoman House Jones asked me specifically about this contract. Ms. Bickerstaff has talked to me about her groundhogs. The monitoring team came to us last year and had a meeting to talk about the important issues, and groundhogs, they were surprised to find in the city of Cleveland, were incredibly important. Give me just a soundbite about what are we doing with the groundhogs?
With apologies, I don't know what the specifics of what this vendor's proposal entails. I know that when the request for proposals went out, it was to provide 24/7 nuisance trapping services, as well as to provide services to the residents to board up and or remediate the property to prevent future issues.
There's nothing that I will do to stand in the way of a groundhog contract. That is fine. So it does, yeah, and I will not make any jokes about groundhog day. So any questions for safety? There being no further questions, Secretary, could you please call the roll?
All in favor of adoption of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Adopted.
Public Works.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. This is for the board consideration for page 32-26, approving contract with Classic International Inc. ETA, Classic Toyota for the purchase of 7 passenger cars.
Oh, it's wrong.
This would be available in park. For $170,570. Second, 33-26, authorizing public purchase improvement or requirement contract for company Inc. For repair, construction, and installation of various compliant structures for 1 year and approving Cat Construction Inc. as a subcontractor, contract estimated to be $1,570,000. Asking for approval.
So with respect to 7 cars for $172,000, that seems like a pretty good deal, actually. How, can I ask you, what kind of cars can you find? Are these new cars?
Yes, these are new, these are SUVs, and compact cars as well. We try to, I'm not sure if these are electrical or not, but, that's some of the things that we've been trying to do is do that, but we use this to put our whole fleet. So when people don't have the actual vehicles, assigned to them, they can actually rent the vehicle for this, and we try to use these for our pool. I do also believe that sometimes you're gonna go to a recreation.
One,
Yeah. I understood, but I still think it's 7. You don't get one. Wait, what about the water park? No, I'm amazed, 7 vehicles for $172,000. That seems really good.
Well, Jeff, we call Jeff Brown a magician, so he does all kinds
Great.
of things. He's good at this, so.
it came in at 24,000 something per vehicle.
For a new vehicle.
Are these
Yeah,
under
they're-
state contract?
He does, yeah, we do use state.
Yeah, state contract does them remarkably inexpensively.
Yeah.
Great.
Roll up windows.
Do
No way.
they make those anymore? Okay. Any further questions? There being no further questions, Ms. Secretary, if you please call the roll.
All in favor of adoption of the resolution, say aye. Oh, did you cover the second?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Adopted.
So Mr. Secretary, just on our cover sheet, we talk about the requirement contract with the park with a company, and I think it's PERC.
Heard.
So if we could just correct that, so that
Thank you.
we're clear. Okay. Development.
Thank you. I'm Trudy Andrewski here on behalf of Department of Development. We have 5 resolutions for the board's consideration today. The first resolution is seeking to amend a resolution we passed back in December. This is simply to correct the buyer name. We accidentally had the individual applicant's name, but in fact, the property will be owned by the LLC that Justin Smith owns. The sale was already approved at market rate and it is a rental property. Next resolution is a yard expansion for a resident, Ms. Clemens. These are 2 parcels for yard expansion based on the very small parcel size and configuration of the lots, essentially selling just in the additional parcel. So the proposal is for $200 per parcel. The next resolution is to transfer 2 land bank properties to the Cuyahoga County Land Bank. We are transferring these parcels. They're located on and just west of East 185th Street for a mixed-use redevelopment that we're partnering with both the County Land Bank and City of Euclid on for this year. We do have reversionary clauses that if the redevelopment does not occur, the property would come back to us for $1. And then we have a resolution for Ms. Moore for a standard yard expansion for $200. The last resolution, I will actually request that the board deny, because the pricing is incorrect.
And I'm sorry, that last resolution is the
Miss Angela Roberts.
sidewalks for Angela Roberts.
Yes, that will come back hopefully next week for a $900 valuation.
And just tell me briefly, why are we not giving Ms. Roberts the standard?
The parcel size.
Or the parcel size is not.
Yes, so parcels that are above 5,000 square feet, we sell at a base value of $200 plus the additional overage of square footage as per the market rate. So that'll equal $900.
How do you want to handle this one? Should we
Oh,
deny?
and yeah, we'll consider handle it either separately or we'll consider your vote yes on all the other resolutions to include a No regarding recommendation number 7.
Everybody understand? Okay, you call the roll.
All in favor of adoption of the resolutions except number 7, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Adopted.
Civil service.
Yes, I have, two pieces for consideration. We are requesting authorization to enter into a contract with Psychological Dimensions and National Testing Network for professional services to conduct fit for duty examinations and psychological assessments for a term of 1 year with 2 one-year renewal options, not to exceed $400,000. We only had 3 bidders, and actually the bidder that we did not go with, we actually had in 2022, and their services were not satisfactory. So we want to go with these 2 vendors, and then based on the volume of the cadet classes that we have, we need to have 2 vendors, so we don't have, people like what we.
Great. Are there any questions regarding civil services resolutions? There being no further questions, Ms. Secretary, if you could call the roll.
All in favor of adoption of the resolution, say aye. Any opposed? Adopted.
Is there any more business to come before this meeting of the City of Cleveland Board of Control? There being no further business, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.